Hey guys, on today's video we're going to discuss what it feels like to live with high functioning depression. And also, if you hang around to the end of the video, I want to share some good news with you. So that and more is coming right up. So welcome. If this is your first time joining me, my name's Tom Fawkes and this is my channel Moving Forward with Tom. On this channel we discuss not only what it feels like to live with depression and anxiety, but also things we can do to overcome those feelings and live a more normal and happier life. Today we're going to discuss what it feels like to live with high functioning depression and how that differs from just your normal depression that most people know about when they think about depression. The type of depression that we're talking about today, it's been called dysthymia, but one of the newer terms that they call it is persistent depressive disorder, PDD. And what that means is the difference between that and major depression is it's more of a subtle depression. It's something that you deal with and you live with every day, but it doesn't come off like a normal type of depression would, to where when you see the person you think, yeah, that guy's depressed. He's just, you can tell he's just down in the dumps all the time. I'm talking about people that can live normal-ish lives, but something's different. And what's different is that the symptoms are so much more subtle that they're really unrecognizable to other people, and also they can be unrecognizable to the person that's dealing with them. They're hard to detect. They're hard to detect for the person dealing with it, but they're also very hard to detect for people that are around these people, like myself, to even realize that they suffer from depression. You have many athletes, many movie stars, people with high profile lives that live with this type of depression, and it's a high functioning depression because they can still go to work, they can still hold down jobs, they can still stay in healthy relationships, they can do all the things that normal people would do, but they still have this mental illness. And yes, I said it's a mental illness, and that's what I have. Like I said, you seem to function normal on the outside, but the struggle really is on the inside. So you're keeping it hidden the best you can, but it rears its ugly head usually when you're alone. You feel just a little bit down most of the time, but you keep it hidden, and it's also can be hidden depression, but you just don't want other people to realize what you're dealing with, and whether it's embarrassment or just you don't believe it yourself. And do you have happy days when you have this type of depression? Yes, you do. You have some days that are just like a normal happy day. I can remember times that I call my wife and I'll say, I'm having a great mental day, because it's that few and far between to where I'm having a really great mental day. And when you do, you realize it, and you cherish and you hold on to those. But it's the type of depression where you just feel bad about yourself. You don't feel sorry for yourself, but you feel bad about yourself. You feel like that others don't understand, so you really can't talk about it. And who wants to go up and say, hey, just to let you know, I suffer from depression. You know, it's not a conversation you normally would have with someone. And it comes to the point to where even the simplest of things, like going to work, having a conversation with friends, that are just normal everyday things that we live with, can seem like monumental tasks. I ran a cigar lounge not long ago, and some days going in, and I loved doing that, and I loved talking to people, but some days I didn't love doing that and didn't love talking to people because of my depression, because I would have to put on a fake happy face while all the time I was just destroyed inside. And that's a tough thing to live with. And it's a hard thing to admit, but it's something that people do need to talk about. It needs to be out in the open. And I'm so glad that so many stars right now are coming out and saying, hey, this isn't just Joe Blow down the street. I deal with this. You know, I watched an interview with The Rock a couple days ago, and I was shocked to realize that he lives with depression. I mean, who would have thought it? When you see him on his movies and see him being interviewed, he seems like such an upbeat person. But then I think, but that's what most people thought of me too. People that knew me personally thought, man, there's no way he suffers from depression. But yeah, we do. Because sometimes you have to force yourself to be in social situations. You can handle them and you can hide it well, but then you can go home and you can just crash because it's just like, I just can't deal with it. And the way that you do deal with it at times, the way I've dealt with it at times, is through substance abuse, alcohol. I would drink in social situations just to where I could feel more at ease and be able to let loose and forget about my depression for a few minutes. And that's the wrong thing to do, because that's just masking something that's within you that is just, and it does more harm than good. And there's a lot of people that deal with it by taking drugs. There's people that deal with it by watching porn. I mean, you name it, you do anything you can to get your mind off of this depression. And that you can have things happen in your life to where this high functioning depression can turn into a major depression when you have something like catastrophic happen in your life, or something monumental, to whether, say, you lose your job or lose a relationship, or fail something at school, or whatever it could be. It can throw you into an actual major depression to where you just can't get out of bed, you can't talk to anyone, and you just crawl in a hole. And I've been there too, and it's not a fun place to be. And thank God I don't stay there in that hole, but I have been there, and people do deal with it. And that type of depression, even high functioning depression, can cost you relationships. It can cost you, it's cost me marriages. It's cost me friends, just because I was dealing with depression and didn't really want people to know. And even sometimes that they did know, they really just didn't understand it. And I get it. I know that people don't understand mental illness, but I'm to the point in my life to where I get it, and I try to deal with it, but I speak openly about it. I'm not ashamed of it. It's something I deal with, and I face it head on. But as I promised at the beginning of the video, there is good news that I'm going to share with you. And the good news is that it is treatable. It's not something that you have to live with and battle on your own. And the first thing you have to do is you have to go get diagnosed with exactly what it is that you're dealing with. Because we can deal with different types of depression, different types of mental illnesses, but until we go and have that checked by a professional, we really don't know what we're dealing with. So number one thing is you have to go see a professional in mental health to help you get on the right track for your treatment. And whether that be an antidepressant, therapy, both, no matter what it is, you have to do something. And once you do, you can live a normal, productive life, but you're going to live it in a better way because you're dealing with the problem. And not dealing with the problem is the worst thing you could possibly do. Because if you do ignore it, you're going to throw yourself in a major depression, and you're going to, a lot of times people do this, and you hear about suicide from depression. And I know I brought up Robin Williams before, but man, it's so sad that people go to that point to where they feel like they're just in a hole that no one cares, and then they just end it. I mean, that's terrible, but go get help, because it's essential. Because when you do get help, and you do get put on the right medications, and you do go to talk therapy or whatever it is that you're doing to tackle the problem that you're having, you're going to live a much, much happier life. And those around you are going to live a much happier life. And you can sustain these feelings for a long time of happiness, rather than just the doldrums of the attack that depression has on your mind. So that's about all I've got for you today. If you found anything in this video that was helpful to you, or you think could be to someone else, hit the thumbs up button to let us know that you were listening. And I'm thankful that you're here, and I would also love you to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button below, and also leave a comment. Leave a comment below to let me know that you were here. Say, hey, I was here, I understand, I deal with it too, or tell me what you're dealing with. And also share some ideas of something you may want to talk about in a later video, because I'll be glad to do it for you. So until next time, just do one thing for me, and that's just keep moving forward.